all things geek from an all diverse perspective. And what we do is we talk about TV, film, video games, all the things covering all the nooks and crannies of fandom. My name is Earl Balon. I am an actor improviser based in Los Angeles, California. And the first video game I ever beat was pro wrestling on the Nintendo Entertainment System using King Slender. And then again with Starman.
Okay, I love this question. Hi, I'm Jennifer Zhang. You can call me Jen. I'm an actor, writer, artist in LA, and the first video game I ever beat, oh my god, what was it? You can't really beat Tamagotchi, can you? You just kind of like not lose for a while.
Yeah, it just keeps on going. It's like an MMO.
Well, I'm gonna say like Pokemon Gold.
Nice.
Wow. Hey guys, my name is Caitlin Faye. I'm an actor, a writer, a musician, and a director. And I don't beat games. They just keep going, and then I give up eventually. I hate to say that. Like, seriously, are we talking about
like video games?
Like video? Yeah, I don't beat video games.
But you've played Zelda.
Yeah, but I got as far as the Forest Temple, and then I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fighter Hayabusa for the win in chat. Nice. And today we are joined by a special guest host, Mr. Chuck Babb. What is up, Chuck?
What's going on, everybody? Video game developer, designer, AR, VR, standard video games. Also do animation as well. The first video game I beat, I'm saying my age now. Commodore 64.
Commodore 64.
The Enforcer. Yeah, most of y'all don't know what the Commodore is. It was the God computer. It was the gaming platform of all gaming platforms.
I know the Commodore 64.
Yeah. So Nemesis Enforcers, look it up. It's an amazing game. I beat that game. That was the first game I beat.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chuck Babb, for being here. And I just want to say that today is a very special episode just because it is our 50th episode ever. Yay!
Yay!
Party time on Zoom. And we've had a kind of eventful week this past week. We were part of Strengthening Community, which was a 12-hour charity stream raising funds for COVID relief in Hi-Fi, historic Filipino town. So we did that. We took part in that. We interviewed Will Sportasio, and you might know him from, X-Men, Wetworks, Spawn, Iron Man. He's the artist for all those. He's doing some writing now. And Mitch Narito, who was a guest on the show before. From The Good Place. Donkey Dog, what up? Shout out to Mitch. Angfernal Chat, what's up? Shout out to you. How's it going? So how's everybody been doing this past week?
I'm doing well. I mean, I just got my new PC laptop in the mail, so I'm gonna try to stream with that now. And I recently went to the Knott's Berry Farm has this like outdoor dining event where like you have to have masks to enter, but like also you pay $30 to get like 5 different entrees, which is amazing. It was a great
deal.
Price.
Yeah,
it was a great deal. Yeah. So recommend it if you want to go.
Very cool. I, like many of you, got hooked up with some new tech this week. Thanks to Earl, who hooked me up with a very sweet deal. I got a new PC, so I can edit in 4K, and new monitor, new keyboard,
baller,
new outlook on life. Oh, and a new AC. I am not dying in a puddle of heat here in my apartment anymore. I've got a new AC unit.
Nice.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
Making it work in the pandemic. As you can see,
making it work.
I too was hooked up with some new tech here. I'm just showing that off. Shout out to Germ33.
Yes, thank you, Germ.
He is one who hooked us up. I'm going to do that in the chat really quick.
Nice. Well, I'll go next. I didn't get hooked up any new tech this week.
You didn't get the memo?
I didn't get the memo. I missed out on the memo. If I would have known, I would have bought something just to show it off.
Not too late.
Yeah, it isn't too late. It's a new week. It's a new week. I tell myself that every day feels like Wednesday.
Every day is Wednesday.
It is. Yeah.
I'm currently in pitch mode, so I'm just writing up pitches for different game companies and studios.
Nice.
Dang, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we got a lot going on today on our episode. We do have a special guest, Miss ChelseaBytes, who won the first round of the Chasing the Crown game show on Twitch, where they're trying to search for like new streamers and get them a whole bunch of new stuff in audience. So she won that. We're going to be talking to her in a little bit. We are going to be talking a little bit about Lovecraft Country. Country. Company.
I was like, I didn't watch that show, Earl.
I didn't watch that.
That's a different one. Yeah.
Company.
Yeah.
It's like the Lovecraft Lovecraft.
I know. I want to know what the Lovecraft Company sells now.
Yeah.
But Lovecraft, I know. Lovecraft Country. We're going to talk about that. Shout out to everybody in chat. Thank you for following us. Remember, we do have a Discord, so hit that up. Get all the updates and the news really quick. And I am just making sure that we are ready to move on.
Yeah.
Cool. So without further ado, let me bring on our very special guest for today, Miss ChelseaBytes. What's up?
Hi, how you doing? I like the questions that y'all posed earlier, and you already had my brain kind of going. So I'm Chelsea. I'm a computer scientist, but as you can see, I've spent a lot more of my time, gaming on Twitch and just seeing the opportunities that kind of rolled in from that. And the first game that I beat was Golden Sun.
That game is the shit. That's one of my favorite.
I had
RPGs.
no idea what that game was about when I was playing.
So
I knew that I was playing like an adventure game that was cool, but like I had no idea what I was doing. But I loved it, and I loved the graphics, and I liked that you could immediately just end the game in the beginning. I was like, oh wow, look, I can just destroy a whole civilization right now.
Oh my
This
God.
is great.
So good.
Nice.
Yes, that is
first one.
so nostalgic for me. And yeah, I too want to find out what they're selling in Lovecraft Company. That sounds
Lovecraft
you don't have that. You don't own that shop
Love
yet.
and craft.
Love
Selling monsters and
Yeah.
racism.
Crafts
I
made
know.
with love.
Monsters and racism.
Monsters and
Saga-
racism.
Precisely.
And,
Oh my
Exquisite
God.
racism at the highest level.
What's up to Muscle Protsy in the chat? Jamar GG, QZ Mosley, Oddball. What's up? How are y'all doing? But yeah. So Chelsea, I know you're doing a lot of streaming now. You are a streamer. So how did you get started in that?
Oh man. Okay. So
Fucking
of course, when we were doing our Chasing the Crown auditions, I had to package all of that into one little paragraph. So moved out here. I was coming straight from college. Had just gotten my computer science degree. And I was like, wow, I need a job. So got a job. But my husband, who I had been in a long distance relationship with for like 3 years at the time. Well, at that point, yeah, it had been 3 years and we had been together. We had just gotten married that year too.
Wow.
So I got married. The next day I went, I took my finals. And then the next day I graduated. And then the next week we flew out to California. So it was a lot. I got a job down in the San Jose area.
Cool.
It was great. First, like computer science offer, in that field that I had gotten. And if you know anything about computer science or just the tech field in general, it's like they almost prey on undergrads or people who are fresh graduated. So
Right.
it wasn't the best deal that I could have gotten from any position, but it was where my husband was. It was in a field that I was excited to be in. But then we find out that he gets an offer in another city about a couple hours away. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm not doing this long distance relationship stuff anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, Intel also has some great benefits. I like health insurance. That's nice. So
What is that?
right? What? Please don't hurt me today. You need to be taken care of. I will cry. But yeah, I went, stayed with him, went ahead and just dropped that job. And for the first year, I actually spent time, like what does your mom say when you live in her basement? Finding yourself. Yeah. So I spent that year kind of just figuring out what I want to do, but we don't have family. We didn't have family up here. We didn't have friends up here. So it was really lonely. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you can tell if we got to spend time together. So you knew how much I like to talk. So me being just in a space by myself with my dog, that just wasn't enough for me. So I got on, I finally just, I don't know what possessed me to stream. I was just working on my cosplay. I was trying to do a cosplay for, if you ever watched that anime, wow, of course, Overlord. You ever watched Overlord? Yes. I was working on the, and of course, whenever I try to remember names, I forget names. But Ainz's right-hand woman, I was working on her suit of armor. And I would just bring it. I just literally got on my phone one day and I was like, I'm just going to stream and see who talks to me because I need to do something today, something productive. It just needs to feel right.
Wow.
Yeah. And literally
here you are today.
Yes.
Because of Ainz's right-hand woman's armor. Need to talk.
Terrible. I can't remember her name. It's always that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
But it's so, hey, it's got like three seasons. It's great. You should watch it.
I am looking up right now.
Yeah, Overlord is good.
I'm gonna try not to click clack in y'all's ears because now I need to know her name. But yeah, that's basically what brought me onto Twitch. Is just fiending for attention and human connection.
That's what brings all of us to Twitch.
So say we all.
So
this has happened over pandemic.
Yes. That's the story.
And I just found it. Her name's Albedo. If anybody in the chat is familiar, a lot of people cosplayed her for the first season. But yes, Albedo is 10 out of 10. Honestly, ride or die. Can't think of a better definition. I feel like even Harley doesn't come close to her. But yeah, definitely ride or die.
Wow.
Very strong.
Wow. You've sold me. You have seriously sold me.
Die of all time.
Thanks for the heads up, Muscle, in the chat. So I mean, it's been quite a ride. I don't know if we can talk about this yet, but like me and our producer Rodney did stand-in work for Chasing the Crown, and so we saw the entire process happening from day one, at least the shoot and stuff. I mean, what was like that? What was that like on your side?
So with just with production in general, it was like me just kind of being like, okay, this is it. This is an opportunity, and it's always. For us, we just knew that the moment somebody subscribed to us for the first time, I was like, oh crap, it's real. Like, I'm like, somebody's giving us money because they like what we do. I was like, okay, we have to take every opportunity that we can to do the best that we can. So donations always goes back to the stream. Like literally, that's all it does. So when we have opportunities like this that come to our door, I'm like, we have to do our utmost best. So it was literally me making sure that my lights were perfect. They were like, well, we don't know if you can do this, but if you can, I'm like, it's done. I'm like, I was never like a no, I'm sorry. It was literally like, if they ask for it, they're getting it. So it was definitely like, there were some days where I kind of felt like, oh man, I feel like the limitations of this setup is kind of, it's definitely reflecting. I'm like, ugh, but I was proud that we were able to take that and make it more unique, honestly, because I was giving them things that they weren't even expecting. They were like, oh, it can look like this. Oh, okay, bet. We like this. This is great. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to work with the space that we have because yes, I am in a 1-bed apartment. I'm not fancy with all these streamer houses and things. All these kids.
You're not in a streamer house?
I know.
Right? Who are you?
Yeah.
Right? Are you calling yourself a streamer?
No streamer house.
I thought you just had a house streaming in a house for living in.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
Exactly.
So I know, like, before the show actually started airing, there was a process there, right? Like a selection process there. What was that like?
The selection process was, man, it happened before COVID hit. Okay. So it definitely, the information that we got at first drastically changed, of course, because of COVID. So I think they made some very smart decisions, and I was really impressed with how quickly they kind of shifted gears. Because at first, I was going to be flying out. I was going to be going out to LA to their studio. and doing our films from there, which I'm sure they were fully prepared. They were ready for that. And once March hit, it's like there was that that moment of silence where it's like, oh, I wonder if I got picked for that opportunity. But you kind of when you get an opportunity, you apply, you do your best, and then you forget it. You just wait to hear back.
Set it, forget it.
Literally. So I was in set it and forget it mode, and I just got this random message. No, I got a call.
Okay, that's better.
Better. That was very lucky to get a call, but I was not expecting the call at all, and I'm very glad that I actually picked up. Because a lot of how you've been getting these crazy amount of spam
I don't know who this number is. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, do I want to waste my time right now? Okay. So I was very lucky to pick that up and get more information and prepare for the new plan they had forward. And for me, while that selection process was long, it made sense because it was nobody was prepared at all for what was about to go down in March. Right. I wasn't prepared at all. I was like, oh, I get a week off. I don't have to go to work. I was like, you telling me I can just sleep in for a week? What do I do next? But that selection period, I was impressed. I was impressed overall. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bang it out no matter what happens. I'm like, we're gonna have you're gonna get the best of both worlds here. So yeah, we went through a lot of calls, lots of calls, just people coming through. Hey, did you get this yet? Hey, we're doing this, and just staying on my toes.
I can imagine them has been super, super hectic because it just felt that way. Trying to get that production together in that short amount of time to make that work online through this medium. It must have been. For people. I want to group y'all in. I want to say for people like us, right? I don't know if I'm making a stretch here, but for people like us who are more comfortable with doing everything online already, I already had friends, in other states, so I already do a lot of my stuff with them online. So for me, getting on, doing a meeting, and then getting off, having my list of things to do, that's easy for me. But I couldn't imagine having to take assets or videos from people, and then you have to wait for them to upload it. You have to watch it, critique it, send it back, and then hope that they understand what you said, and then re-upload it again. And be like, oh, well, I know what I said, but, I think you just didn't quite get that. So, I could see how that was frustrating to them during, the production / them gathering assets. Right. Of just like, oh, this is so stressful. I have to wait so long, and I can't put my hands on it directly. I can't film it myself. So they had to depend on me or the other contestants or the other just people, other talent on the show. Right. So for me, I kept that in the back of my mind whenever we were getting those 50 calls a day. They're like, did you film this yet? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it. I'll send it to you tonight. And literally my turnover would be like, hey, if they gave me an idea of what they wanted, I'm going to film it tonight, and I'm going to edit it tonight, and I'm going to see if I can get it to them tonight. And you know how crazy that can be. That's crazy. That's a lot of work.
Getting that frame, getting I would get mad at myself because I was like, why do I keep stuttering on the same line?
Oh, God.
All you have to do is say the line.
Get this damn read down.
Exactly.
I don't know if it was the same way with you, but just trying to coordinate with production, to deliver props and all that stuff. That was an undertaking in and of itself.
I got very lucky. Yeah. I got really lucky that production was so on point. Right. With their stuff. We may have had on my end, I don't know about the other contestants' ends, but on my end, we may have had one hiccup. And all I had to do was go down the street to Best Buy, grab a part, and they had already gotten it. So it was literally just a pickup. And, for me, I was just like, oh, this is simple. This is like when I'm going out to grab hardware. It's easy. So, that they handled beautifully. I was like, I don't need anything. I have everything I need to record anything I need or to get the stream up. It was, they even sent, so they did send us a giant green sheet that I thought I wasn't going to use.
For the chroma key, right?
Right. I literally stapled it all across I stapled it across my bedroom door. So for that evening, we couldn't leave. I was like, if you move this, it's not going to look right. So you have to be still. So we had to do it right before we started the setup for that episode. And then I was able to finally take it down. But,
nice. I mean, your setup right now looks pretty dope. I mean, we can see what your actual setup looked like back in the day. Because, I mean, during the show, because they had the green screen up, but like.
Yeah, so you can tell all this isn't compliant with anything at all.
Right.
Like, there's no way that's going to fly on it. So yeah, they told me straight up, remember when we were talking about that 12-hour, our first like 12-hour setup for our first episode, when they were like, okay, we have to work out all the kinks. We have to know what's going on, like hear what everybody sounds like, see what everybody looks like. I didn't even set up the green screen. I thought that we were going to actually use my shot. I was wrong. I was so wrong. So it took me like 15 minutes to set up my green screen. I have a huge like 15 by 8 green screen that can go back here. It has like stands and everything. So that would be up for days because we do our shots the day before. And then we'd have to do the show. And then, of course, after that, we had to record for the, remember the homework assignments that they would give us on the show?
Yes, yes.
And they can't use my background. So for like a month, I was a green screen streamer for like a month. I was like, bro, I never thought this is going to happen. But here we are with a green screen.
This is going to be it. I've crossed a threshold. I'm
in a new world.
Yeah. So how have things changed since the end of the show? Because you won. I'm not going to say I don't want to speak bad about Red or like B-Wine, but like I knew you were going to win. So
I'll talk trash all day. No, they were great. I was really glad to have gone up against them because in my mind, for me, that's a pro gamer. Brian's is a much more of a competitive gamer than I am.
Yeah, he's on point.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, you can live in that realm, have fun. I like to do me. So for me to have gone up against somebody like that in gaming challenges, and then somebody with such a positive, huge community like Reds, I was like, if I win this, I have everything in the game. I have all the bragging rights I could ever ask for. So really what's changed is that we've grown more with our community, and I've gotten to add 2 amazing streamers to just my group and my circle of people that I can just like talk to and enjoy and just witness. I think that's really my biggest word for that whole event was like witnessing all of these people come together and make something great. And Red and Brian, they were gold. They were absolutely gold.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool people.
They were really cool.
The little that I got to interact with y'all. But yeah,
I know. We barely got to talk. And when we were talking, it was just like, all right, what are you going to do for this challenge? I'm like, I'm going to get in there and
kill people and aim down the sights.
Yeah. I'm going to use my skills and shoot people. And
I know you're not an FPS player, but you got to get in there. You're going to, get
you were
headshots.
very encouraging. Yeah.
I know.
Thank you.
Am I able to ask what Chelsea's favorite game is? Or are we?
Absolutely.
No, we're about to go into that. So
we're about to go into that. Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. But you can start it.
All right. Well, Chelsea, what is your favorite game of all time?
So my favorite game, since you were so kind to ask, is I get judged all the time, but I love Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Wow. Twilight Princess.
Oh, I tried to play that.
Unpopular one.
I know.
I think it's pretty popular.
It's popular. It's like a niche cult.
It's a niche one.
I think it was very popular, and then the next one came out, and everyone just forgot about it.
Was it Skyward Sword?
Yeah.
And then nobody talks about that one either.
Nobody talks about that one either. I love Twilight Princess.
I love it.
I've seen enough of it.
If you ever
to watch
just
people play it, yeah.
Right.
It's definitely one of those where, like, if you sit back on a Friday or Saturday night and you just
Right.
feel like you have just endless amounts of time,
Yeah, it's a very long
yeah.
game.
it's
Yeah.
perfect. It's just the perfect environment. And I think that's just kind of because I get lost in environments. Like, that's
Right.
just
I love
me.
good environment design.
I get
Exactly.
really lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one is
Literally though.
So that's
the
your favorite.
best. That is my favorite. I always go back to
Wow.
that when I can. Like, I know people like to go back to Skyrim and stuff, and they like to, like, if that's their like chill sesh game, that's Legend of
Right.
Zelda Twilight Princess is mine.
Gotcha.
God, I gotta get back on that. It's been so long.
Wow.
I have it on the GameCube.
I was gonna ask, did you play on GameCube or Wii? But you played.
Okay,
on
so yeah, I went to a friend's house. She had hers on the Wii, and I had no idea
Right.
the menus were
do
flipped.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole game was flipped.
Yeah, because Link is
Yeah.
left-handed, so they had to make it right-handed in the game.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
For that
so
one.
wild. I was like, oh, this is weird. I was like, this is interesting on the Wii. Okay, it's a feature. I'll just say it's
Did
a
that actually
feature.
change your gameplay?
I was definitely way more confused, and that's kind of where I was introduced to the world is made for right-handed people.
Right.
So that's where I began my journey. And my father is ambidextrous, and a couple of my sisters are left-handed. So
Wow.
I am
Oh.
happy that I was exposed very early on to being more considerate to our left-handed people of the
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah.
I stand with you. So yeah, it definitely did change up my gameplay for the better. Yeah, made me think
Nice.
more. My I don't know which side of the brain that is, but it's one of the brains. Yeah.
Along the same kind of line, what was your what was the game that started it all for you?
Oh, my dad used to play a lot of Resident Evil and Tomb
Nice.
Raider.
Tomb Raider.
What?
He played the one of the first Tomb Raiders. When they had Angelina Jolie as the prominent character model.
Mhm.
I didn't get to play those. My first game, I guess, was more like the Sonic Adventures, stuff like that.
Got it.
But what really started for me were like the horror games, Resident Evil specifically, and
Nice.
stuff like House of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Fatal
The
Frame.
theaters.
Yes. Okay. So Fatal Frame.
Oh my god.
I'm glad I discovered that when I was a little older. If I had found that when I was younger, I probably would have
Like,
just
not
been
be here right now.
Yeah, but I'd be
done with
like, you know
games.
what? Games are art for me. But yeah, horror games have always been a big deal for me, specifically zombies. Specifically
Nice.
zombies for me. I love zombies. Like, it's just the genre. They fit in any form, timeline, any period. Zombies work. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, I think it's like Kingdom or something.
Yeah.
The
It's on
Korean
Netflix.
show?
We
Yeah,
covered
I
the
watched
first couple episodes.
You did? Okay.
Well, we didn't finish.
Yeah.
You didn't? No. I
No.
was down too. I don't know what
We haven't even touched the second
Yeah,
season.
we haven't even touched it yet. Yeah.
I love it.
It's a
so
great thing,
much.
right? You combine like
Yes.
K-dramas with
Mhm.
like
Yeah. we-
zombies, your favorite
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
Like
perfect.
with medieval era,
Yeah.
like Game
Exactly.
of Thrones with Koreans and zombies.
Right.
Exactly. I wasn't prepared at all. I was like, wait, zombies?
I know. Really quick, thank you, Moxie K and Jeremy German 33 for the subs. Y'all are the realist.
Jeremy,
I don't have
Thank
my,
you for my computer.
recorder.
I have a question.
Speaking.
What's up?
Go
With your
ahead. Chuck.
CS degree, what do
Yes.
you want to do next with it? And do you want to do anything with it? You on stage streaming? What do you want to do?
Oh, for sure. So, you know what it is. You know what it's like when you try to, because a lot of people are like, well, when you start streaming and people start investing in your channel, you become a brand, apparently. So you have to think about like your brand mission and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You got to have an idea. And I think having an idea of what you want to do is really important. So that's kind of where ChelseaBytes was born. And the Byte command was formed from that. That's just what I call my community. And I wanted it to be kind of a space where people who don't have so much experience or people who have tons of experience with not just programming, but hardware, tech in general. They can come in a comfortable space and share their knowledge. Now, I want to take my degree and what I've learned from school and share that with others, but also continue to grow in, because my primary languages are Java and C++. Like that's where I live. That's my realm. I want to further understand those languages to, as far as I can go or as far as I care to go, and just show people how you can use that to your advantage. Because it doesn't have to be this thing where you learn it so you can get a good job and you just listen to your boss and your boss tells you to come to a Scrum meeting and what's the fastest way to get Scrum this meeting. I know, right? So great. You go and you just try to figure out the fastest way to do something. It doesn't have to be just something that's completely practical. It'll be something very beautiful. You can use it to just optimize and automate things that you do in your own home. I think why I went into CS when I was younger not younger, when I was first starting out in college, was because I wanted to delve not only into augmented and virtual reality, but also maybe delve into AI or just try to find ways to make people see the way that I want them to see things. It can be beautiful. I love the idea of, how they have fridges with, I know you don't need Facebook on your fridge.
But integrated UI.
Right? Right. But it's cool that you can take an OLED screen on your fridge and you can see what's in it without opening it. Just simple things like that. And that's what computer science, it just makes things like that beautiful to me. Now, holograms and all that stuff, we're working on that. I would love to have a real, right? Yes, that I really wanted to go to one of those concerts so bad. That was you.
It was hype from what I saw.
It's worldwide hype.
Yeah.
I love Miku and I love the whole band. So I think I'm 10, almost 12 years into Miku.
12 years deep.
Wow.
I'm
deep in the Miku.
Deep
in that.
Yes. That just literally stuff like that. Literally stuff like Miku Hatsune, literally things that you get to see in video games even. And that's kind of what, how people think that you can go into computer science and this is what video gaming is all about. I'm no, that's game design.
Right.
You don't want to be here. Yes. But I knew that I didn't want to make video games because I was it's great. I enjoy them, but that's not, I feel like I'm limiting myself to games. It's definitely more practical thing that I want to enjoy when it comes to computer science. My husband keeps giving me the eyes. So the thing about quarantine, if you guys didn't know, our office has merged and we stare at each other now. Get to see his little eyes just sitting there. So he's listening to me and he's just yeah, that's how you feel. Okay. But just
if you ever want to get into games, you can learn Unreal Engine. It's C++.
Oh yeah, no. So to kind of hit on that and answer your question completely at the same time, I definitely wanted to take my computer science degree further because I went to college. I spent a lot of money. I'm about to use this degree, but with that, I wanted to make it more towards, like we discussed earlier, with mixed reality, augmented virtual reality. If you ever watched The Mandalorian, I'm still working my way through that. But the way that they filmed that
LED screen, we talk about that all the time.
Virtual production's great.
Yeah, it's so great. Can you imagine just the amount of money you save in production just doing something like that?
Doing it for reals.
Well,
and that's go ahead.
Opened up a program for virtual production. They pay the grant and they pay for everybody to go through it.
It's beautiful. See, that's also, and that's one of the things that I would love to do in the future not only be able to use my computer science degree, not just for all of my tiny projects, but to move on into virtual production. I have a huge, yes, I have a huge love for 3D art, especially environment art. And I think that's kind of why, from just a young age, I was just drawn to beautifully made games and just feeling like you're there. So immersion is a big deal for me. And you can see for as long as I've been talking about it, it's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. You get sucked into the environment, and that's what
it's a beautiful feeling.
Yes. Gets you going. Speaking of what gets you going, we have one more question, unfortunately, because there's a limited amount of time, but we could talk all evening. Chelsea, what is your absolute favorite thing about streaming?
Absolute favorite thing is that I get to talk to the same people every single day. It's that's
why you're on Twitch, right?
Yeah, right. Yes,
you're lonely and need connection.
I needed my daily dose of human connection. And it's been 2 years now. Next month will be 2 years, and I've made friends. Like that's
and you're a star. You're a superstar now.
I get that a lot, and I'm like, until she's like, well,
it's true, but
you're like a celebrity.
Yeah, if Beyonce's out there, if you would just add my number to your phone, then I will feel so accomplished, right? Yeah. Give me a sign. But
Beyonce, who?
No, right? Which one are you talking about?
We got ChelseaBytes on our channel.
No,
y'all.
Beyonce.
That's definitely it's definitely my favorite part of streaming is the daily conversations that we have. I've started to structure my segments more because I'm like, okay, even I get tired of me just coming on. It's been 2 years and I get tired of myself just coming on being like, all right, guys. I'm like, guys, what are we talking about today? Like it's never it was never planned.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
My brief foray into streaming was never planned either. I got sick of myself real quick.
I was like, all right, you don't even know what you're talking about. You need a plan. You need to bring something to the table.
Nice. Before we move into talking about Lovecraft Country. I just want to say what's up to thank you for the bits, Jeremy Germ 33.
Thank you, Jeremy Germ.
Very much appreciated. But thank you, Chelsea. I mean, you're going to be joining us for the rest of the show.
Have
but
you seen Lovecraft Country?
Of course,
because I didn't tell you to watch it. So
we are up to date on Lovecraft Country. Last night was insane.
We're not.
You're actually ahead of us. You're ahead of us. Yeah, we've only seen 2 episodes.
All right, bet.
Let's thank you, Chelsea, for joining us. Awesome interview. And from right here, we're gonna move straight into Lovecraft Country. Now I'm thinking about it. And episode 2 of Lovecraft Company. God damn it!
Oh my god!
Star Wars.
You did it. You have tainted his mind.
I have tainted my own mind. Season 1, episode 2 of Lovecraft Country. What did everybody think?
I had to hold my breath.
What did everybody think? General.
I'm gonna let y'all start.
Oh, she let us start. Okay.
Right.
So I guess I will just say that you can tell that Jordan Peele is an executive producer.
Oh, absolutely.
You can tell that he is.
Someone loves his work.
It's got all the pieces there. And it's got vibes from Stranger Things, vibes from Watchmen, vibes from like 50s type stuff, but it also like cuts in a lot of references to civil rights era figures, and speeches, songs, you can tell like the media for it is like a remix of all those things. So that's what I'm observing about it at first glance. If any of you want to break into it further.
Like a pastiche of all these different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree with you. That is there's definitely like that.
I was gonna agree with myself.
Okay.
It's a pastiche. Yes, you're right.
There's that feeling of it is definitely pastiche.
Damn, yeah, that's what I do.
I thought episode 2 was brilliant. I thought it was a brilliant episode. I think they pay a lot of attention to detail throughout the show, from even the books on the shelves and the order they put the books in. and how that plays into Lovecraft, HP Lovecraft's literature. And how the color of the rooms, the lighting is really good in the series itself. How it plays with genre. Like this is more of that. We're in this house, and the house has a lot of secret rooms in it. And I think it was brilliant how they played it out. Like how the uncle recognized the book on the shelf and he pulled it.
Right.
Yeah. So are you caught up, Chuck, or you've only seen the first 2 as well?
I'm caught up.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
I am also caught up. So.
Oh man, so it's
Wait a minute. Okay, whatever. I was busy today, you guys.
Take your time.
Well,
not going anywhere. So
I feel like I was operating under this false assumption that it was actually Jordan Peele who had written the show. I thought he was the showrunner, but he's just one of the executive producers.
Right.
And now the source material is based off of a 2016 novel. Matt, I forget the guy's name now, but he's white. And so what I'm assuming happened is the showrunner or the person who developed the show is a woman, a Black woman. She was like, I got
Misha
it.
Green.
Yeah, Misha Green. There you go. I was not sure it was Miska Green. Misha Green. Okay. She was like, all right, H.P. Lovecraft, well-known racist. This novel doing well. I got a show idea. So she developed it, but it was very much Peele-esque. Is that a new term?
right. It's definitely got that.
Appealing.
It was really
It's appealing.
Yeah. Appealing. It was
Appealing.
appealing.
Can we do it?
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Appealing. Hashtag appealing.
Appealing.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was, and at the end of the first episode is when I realized I'm like, or I remembered rather like, oh yeah, this is like some horror, weird Lovecraftian shit because you're kind of entrenched in the story that feels like a civil rights movement era type narrative, and then all of a sudden, monsters with eyes all over their bodies.
Shoggoth.
And then at the end, they end up in this mansion where some like vampire Cullen type creature or dude invites them. Me and Jen were like, dude, these guys look like vampires.
Twilight.
This is like Twilight mixed with Lovecraft, mixed with civil rights.
Castlevania
type weird.
Alucard.
It's got a little
Alucard dude answers the door.
Hello.
And now at the end of episode 2, so much has happened. I'm kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like this was the end of the season. Like so much happened. I was just like, whoa, what's going on?
So many people are saying that like on the internet.
Yeah.
It's just like, is this going to be every episode? Where
it's a brilliant idea. I think I was down, but I was just like, where do we go from here? Now I haven't seen episode 3 like you guys.
Let me just say that like it does not disappoint. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovecraft Country is actually created as vignettes. So all the chapters.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh.
They're all vignettes. And
are they like standalones?
They're standalone. Then they all
really? So
they all come back together. They're all separate stories.
That's what I was asking Rodney about this earlier. I was like, everything feels very vignetted. Like it's not.
No wonder.
So it's not a continuation between.
It kind of is.
Well, it is. There is an arching thing so far.
You're like following different characters.
Yeah, I actually listened to. She was on one of my favorite podcasts to watch, Misha Green, and one of the things she said was they just want to like empty the cupboard and throw everything at it. And so, I was thinking that was my same feeling too. After seeing the second episode, it definitely felt like a season finale.
It felt like it's over. Yeah.
I was like, okay, where do they go from here? It's like, okay, they just introduced the main villain, and then he, spoiler, and they're like, what? Okay, so
the main villain.
But exactly, that's true.
Yeah.
Is he the main villain? That's not, so it's, they're doing it really well, and I'm like, I'm just loving the ride so far. So.
Yeah. Because they did talk about other covens or other like sects of ancient order of the
people on the set.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting because every episode is supposed to be a different adventure.
Right, that's what it feels like. It's almost Monster of the Week-y.
Yeah, like
it's like so it's different characters.
It's not
characters, but it's
same characters.
It's like Babysitter's Club with Goosebumps mixed in.
Yeah.
So it's a series of adventures traveling like the East Coast, like from town to town. Is that?
Just these characters where these characters are.
Right. So it kind of feels like I'm sorry. Go ahead.
George, he's dead.
Is he
RP Uncle George? I know.
I don't know. I was like,
who knows?
this character.
Because I mean, Letty
I was
died.
so upset. And then they brought her back.
So yes, that part I was like, so they died?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, what?
And they brought him back to life.
But he didn't get brought back. He wasn't healed.
That's the guy that's gonna
Uncle
bring
George.
back.
He wasn't.
He died.
Why was Uncle George not healed, but Letty was?
I think it was because like
Because plot points.
well,
Need her to live.
there's a they do, but like the head of the coven, like he finished the process with Letty, but he was in the process when he died with Uncle George.
Oh, so they were gonna heal him.
He's gonna heal him
Yes.
if he opened up the Garden of Eden. So they needed Tick to open up the Garden of Eden, and if Tick opened up the Garden of Eden, they would have brought him back.
Right.
But since he died when he was opening the Garden of Eden,
Yeah.
No mas.
yes.
So Chelsea,
That wasn't
what-
clear to me. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Chelsea, what do you think of the acting in the series?
Oh, it's
think-
spectacular.
Yeah.
It's got us it's funny because we laugh a lot. Like there's a lot of humor in it. And
Right.
it's kind of crazy because it's just so many little things that you pick up from like your own home. You're like, oh, my mom would have said it just like that. Like,
Me and Jen died.
We were dying.
Because do you guys remember in episode 2, like Atticus
George.
and Uncle George are already sitting in on this
The black
dinner,
tie
and they
dinner.
Right.
obviously they're not welcomed there, and the expectation is for them to just stay silent. And then
Yeah.
Uncle George stands up. He's like, "I'm not standing for any of this," and he goes, "I don't understand.
Y'all
Y'all
are
part of the
club or something
going on here. Y'all
Yeah.
part of a club or something."
yeah, there were all these things
The
that
way he
Y'all
said
have
it was so
club or
great.
yeah, it's perfect.
Part of a
Like,
club.
Lee Vance is awesome.
Y'all get the fuck out of here. It's like,
You're
No,
right.
Y'all get the
Uncle
so
George's
satisfying.
faces.
So satisfying.
Hey, I want to like people that read a whole lot. We read the rules.
I know.
That's the guy.
Seeing as my nephew here, I was like, oh, he's about to bring it.
Oh,
He really
my
was.
God.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
The acting is superb. I thought I was gonna get irritated with Tick, but Tick has been perfect.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't have a
is
problem
great.
with him. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
now I know they out here, they're like, you are the fan service of the show. So you're gonna have your shirt off every 5 seconds.
But instead of a dick, we see a snake.
Snake
Say no.
nuts.
PG.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we could like all the different things. Because I'm pretty sure that's the overarching theme is
Right.
Tick's heritage.
Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
and
Right.
Yeah.
lineage
That's
and
gonna be the thing. That's-
legacy.
Yes.
Right.
There's so much going on in this show that's really good.
There's a lot, and like I feel it's crazy because I don't feel lost yet. I
Yeah.
feel that there's a lot, but it all kind of leads in. It's all funneling
Yeah.
into one
Yes.
thing. I see it like funneling into one like story. So I'm actually pretty excited to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Let's talk
For
about
me,
contrast. Father. Go ahead.
Mhm. Oh, no problem. No problem. I want to hear what you got to say.
I was gonna say his father was hidden behind the wall, and it was like they were in a room. They went down to the basement. They're like, something's weird about this place. Then they went back down there, and his father was hidden behind the wall, but he wasn't there because he was digging his way through a tunnel. I was like,
Yeah.
this is a Prison Break film. This is a Prison Break scene.
It was beautiful.
There's so much camp in it. There's so much camp in the show.
I know.
really
I
sad?
did.
Because
I like
There's-
that second episode when it did feel like it was a season finale,
yeah,
Right.
but you don't feel lost. And because you know it's not the season finale, you're like, okay, I know what I got to do. I mean, I know what's happening, and I just want to know where we're going next. What do you do after you find a strange mansion with vampires and magic spells, and
Right.
you go through this trauma with your best friend who that was pretty. It was kind of scary watching Letty go through that. I was like, whoa, this is like, we were sitting there going, oh no,
Right.
oh
What's gonna
no.
happen?
Like,
she can't look him in the eye because it's
Go
so
down.
awkward.
I know.
Yeah, when they all came out in the hallway and
Just
she
like-
was just like barely
I was like, this is
avoiding
gonna be
his
tense
glance.
as
It's like,
fuck.
I don't even want to tell you what my fantasy was. Like,
fantasy, try nightmare. Yeah.
my living daylight nightmare.
All right.
The crazy thing is like if you when they sit down on the on the bed like right before, they're looking at a picture of Adam and
Yes.
Eve, and then it foreshadows what's going to happen because it's
Right.
Adam with a snake penis.
Snake.
Yeah. I don't know what that
That's
means.
foreshadowing, though.
I did not get enough Bible study to understand why Adam had a penis with a snake, but
I had to rewind it like a couple times. I was like, is that saying what I think it's
I
saying?
was like, either way, I'm pretty sure this is just it's Adam's evil. Like that was all I could like Adam's evil. That's it. Like that's all I can conclude from that point. But yeah, that was wow. That was
What
traumatic.
made that scene really good too is that the daughter, she had it projected in all the windows, and people could just watch.
Right. That's like
okay, so I had to block that out.
Ass. Yeah, that was crazy.
That bugged me.
All doors watching them go through their nightmare.
Yeah.
No, why was that?
Yeah.
I need to know the answer.
Statists, because they're it's like sitting and watching Black people struggle throughout history through a glass wall and not interfering or
Yeah, let's see these Black people's
And
nightmares and show
yeah,
them.
let's watch
Exactly.
them live out their nightmare.
In fact, let's give them their fantasy and turn it into a nightmare.
Yes.
Nice.
Fantasy.
We're gonna
So
turn
good.
That
Whoa,
dissertation
that
right
makes
now.
sense. Yeah.
That's what happened. Like even
That was disgusting. That's where I was like, okay. For a second, I was like, all right, this show is so racist that they got the 3 Black people in here. they gonna give them. Why does Tick have to? At first, the other 2 were going through some really pleasant, like little
At first,
fantasies.
yeah.
At first,
Right.
and from jump, Tick was just
Tick was
fighting for his life.
Yeah,
By Jamie Chung.
with Jamie Chung.
knife.
Is that who that was? That was
Yes.
That was Jamie
So
Chung, yeah.
originally,
So
she was the
it was her
princess
in the
from Mars,
first-
too.
Yeah.
she was Princess Mars.
Not recognize it. I was like,
Mars,
that is
too.
definitely Jamie Chung.
I don't know. I was like, I don't know what it was. It was like
Asian
weird.
girl
That was-
beaming down from a UFO in a bikini.
Well, I recognized that.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
this in her soldier gear. I didn't recognize
So
for some reason.
at one point he gets a call from South Korea and he's talking to some chick.
He's
Right.
calling.
I'm guessing later on in the show they're going to explore that story.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
something
looking
happened
forward
when
to
he
that.
was in the war,
he calls.
Yeah.
the Korean War. And
They do a lot of good foreshadowing in this show too.
It's excellent. It's absolutely excellent. Yeah, there's
So,
a lot that I want to discover in this show for sure.
Where do y'all think? And I know this is kind of a hard question, just because you've seen the 3rd episode. But where do y'all think this is going to go?
Episodes, rather? Total?
Or I mean, like, where are we going to explore? What are we going to explore next year?
8 or 10? I feel like it's an 8 or 10 type thing.
I think it's a 10.
It's a 10? All right. I think it's a 10 deal.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go to. It's gonna be. They're gonna give us something from every genre film. Like we're gonna get a Raiders of the Lost Ark
Ooh.
episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite excited
They're going
about
to
that.
uncover
Ooh.
Tick's parentage. Like, who is his real father?
Because that got brought into question.
I
And
think
his
Tick's an
mom.
alien. So
Really?
from episode 1, I was like, Tick's an alien. Because if you looked at George's face when he talked about his mom, when Tick talked about his mom
Dora,
to George,
right?
George had like this look of just like, I gotta talk about it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Because George was in love with his mom.
Right. George was loving.
He was in the room with him.
Wait,
Right.
So
was
they're
that
in the
Tick?
room.
That was Tick's mom?
That was Tick's mom that he was talking to in his fantasy.
Right.
that's what I was guessing. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
That's what I guessed.
Yeah.
okay, that's what I guess.
That's what
Chelsea,
I was.
your
That's what
face.
he don't talk about. Yeah, because remember they asked him, "Who did you see?" And he's like, "That's
What
not
a
important right now."
believe
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
He
You
didn't
know
want
what
to
I'm
talk about
talking
it.
about.
Yeah,
That wasn't his wife.
He
Yeah.
had a lot of
That
was
time
not.
George was dying.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Tick
and when
Lighter.
and when he was dying too, he talked to his brother
He said-
Omar to Omar.
Oh,
He
that
was
makes
like, yeah.
sense then.
He
Okay,
said
that's
like,
hilarious.
hey,
That went over your head.
yeah, he was like,
wait,
hey,
I
you know, he was mad that the
We don't
brother.
Like, we
he
don't
said,
talk about that. That's over.
But like,
Yeah.
but you know, he knew he was dying, so he's
yeah.
like, no, we got to talk about this because like,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that would
So-
make 10 times more sense and throw my alien theory completely out the door.
it still might be true though.
Who knows?
It still might
Who
be.
knows?
It still might be an alien. It might be. You never know.
Or his
Yeah.
father could be
Love her
Uncle
may be an alien.
George.
She may be really
Right. Could be Uncle George.
That's what I was
died in
thinking.
Korea and she brought him back to life. Because when he called her on the phone, she was like, "You went back. You're not supposed to go back."
Can't remember what
What she
what they're
said?
talking about.
Yeah,
She
Right,
said
on the
you
phone.
went back.
she said she calls him out for going back. She's like, "You went back. You're not supposed to go back." Episode.
Right.
Maybe he is an alien.
So he might have died.
Yeah.
And as a Korean woman, she
So
read-
everybody's dead. What if this is the afterlife?
All right. You know what? You're not about to throw me
They're
into
gonna bust a
a...
lost. They're gonna bust a lost on us.
No.
better yet, that's the lost on us.
Yeah.
She already told him that if you go back home, you're going to die, and he went back
Right.
home because every
Right.
time he's supposed to go, he's supposed to escape back to Florida, but just really far from Chicago.
Which gets alluded to. Okay.
A lot, yeah. Yeah, we can't talk about it. We can't talk
Yeah,
about
we can't
it.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely gonna keep on watching this show. It's pretty dope. But
They keep
I
throwing
assume
stuff
everybody
at me.
else,
Yeah.
is also going to watch.
How pretty the show looks.
Oh, pretty.
The house looks
Oh,
really
it's
nice.
well made.
Like,
Yes.
Everybody's laid out. The wardrobes looks amazing. The makeup,
the period
everything
stuff is
really
great.
pretty in the show.
I love his dad's home.
Mhm.
I love it. Under the
yeah.
railroad.
Mhm.
I was like, whenever that train goes by and the lights are flickering and
Right.
the table, I get that it's like a one room thing, but it just looks so well made.
Is that in the third episode?
That's in the second.
A second episode, yeah.
Dad's
when-
First
house.
episode, when he goes
Yeah.
spend the night at the house, he goes spend the night at his dad's house.
Mm-hmm. When he's taking the call on the phone.
Yeah.
You see the
From Korea.
lights in the background.
Not the first
window?
episode. That's the first episode.
It's probably the first.
That's the first episode. Yeah, that's because the second
Yeah.
episode was all in that mansion.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that first. It was the first one.
Okay, yeah.
My bad. Yeah, that that house was just. It's just beautiful, and I get that it's like not supposed to be, the high life or anything, but they just shot Chicago in such a beautiful light.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. Even
definitely.
Abby Lee looked really good in the show. I was like, she's a model. She's not gonna be able to act that well. I said,
No, she was good. Yeah.
And she owned that, bro. I don't know who her boy toy was. I don't know his name, but he even crushed that scene.
Right.
I wonder if he's still alive.
We don't know. It's a lot
He's
we're gonna be finding out.
he's the actor of he's in Vikings.
Okay.
So he actually plays one of the sons of Ragnar. So,
I need to watch that.
Ube.
I need to watch
is
watch
a-
Vikings, too.
So he looks like completely different because, like, he's in Viking garb, like long hair.
He's all
and braids.
grizzled.
Yeah,
up and
grizzled
Yeah.
and stuff. So when I saw the promo pictures, I was like, and then they said I was like, oh crap, like that really is him.
That is
I couldn't tell. Yeah, it's clean cut. I'm like, what?
You're supposed to keep your look consistent.
Oh, I have one last question, and I think we can move on to the gaming thing. Sorry, what do you guys think about the anachronistic elements?
Anachronistic?
Yeah, like they're playing the theme of Jefferson's, and then like
like the
the
music
Baldwin, the music.
Like rap.
Yeah,
I think it works.
Yeah, I don't think it
part
doesn't
of that
feel out of
prestige.
time or place is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only complaint I had from somebody was when they played Tierra Whack in the first episode.
Oh yeah.
Why?
The party scene.
Oh,
Is it the part? No, not even that. When Tick is literally moving just through the streets of Chicago,
Oh, right.
looking for his dad, or just like a lead on his
Right.
dad.
I thought that was
And
the first song.
I liked it because I like Tierra Whack. But other than that, like the music placement, the placement of the dialogue that they've had has been very well thought out for me. It speaks to me. I know for some people.
I had one issue in the second episode when the ceremony is taking place at the very end, and all those people are like dying. They were playing the spoken word piece, Whitey's on the Moon.
Right.
Which I think if you have heard of it before, then you're like, you get it. But I had never
the
heard the
context,
piece before.
right.
And I was trying to listen to the words, but it was distracting me from this pivotal moment in the visuals. So I kept trying to look at what's happening. But then I was trying to hear the words, and I was trying to figure out what's happening, and I was trying to understand the lines. So it was distracting me. And that was my only critique, because I wish
There
it had
was a
just
lot
been
going
I wish it was
on
just
at the moment.
music or something, because
It was very poignant though.
yeah, it was great.
It was a moment that synced with the whole Discord. I'll give you that. Yeah. They were like, yeah, and Whitey's on the moon. yeah.
Whitey's on
Whitey's on
The guy in
the
the world is suffering, but Whitey's on the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Whitey's on the
A
moon.
rat bit my sister now, but Whitey's
And I think just from that, I think it's like, for me, the juxtaposition of like, oh, this is all this man cares about. This is like his life's achievement. This is supposed to be great. He's expecting this to be great to me too. But that's the least of my problems. Why would I care about your? What was he trying to? What was he going? The Garden of Eden for? Everybody's trying to be immortal nowadays. So I guess that was it.
What does that to do with me?
Yes.
But yeah, us listening to that was another moment that made us laugh. We were just laughing.
Whitey on the moon.
Right, and Whitey's on the moon. Like that's just how it is.
Right.
But yeah, that it kind of hits with some people. It's a hit or miss. Because for me, the Tierra Whack thing, I was like, oh yeah, I love this song. This is great. And other people are like, why do they just throw this song on here unnecessarily? This is random. It doesn't make sense. You know, it
was the first song too. It was the first song.
That's true.
When I heard it, I was like, oh, this is
pretty
really
early. Right.
This is interesting. Okay.
I know. I assumed that the rest of the show was going to be like that.
Me too. I was waiting for Young Thug. I was waiting.
Right.
I was waiting. I was like, all right, who's coming through?
I know.
Is Meg the Stallion gonna make an appearance? What's happening? We doing a WAP moment. What's going on?
I know. What? But yeah, good so far.
Episode 3 though.
Right.
Yeah, episode 3 is lit. It's lit.
Yeah, it's lit.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Don't worry.
But
I know when me and Caitlin were watching it, we were wondering, like, you know, when they were in the castle and Letty and Uncle George were just having the time of their lives, like trying on clothes and reading books.
Right.
And we're like, hang on.
Why?
You
And then,
just had trauma.com for like 2 days straight. How are you so happy about a book right now?
But then they reveal like it's because they erased their memories.
Right.
Okay.
Or-
thank God they
Or she
acknowledge
blocked their
that.
memories.
yeah, there's you'll get specifics. So
She's like, I'll fix it for you. And when she
Right.
fixed it, and she locked him in his room.
I
She was like,
know.
"I fixed it." And he was screaming.
Shit
You
was
gotta run out of the
crazy.
room. She's like, I fixed it. Don't worry about them.
that was evil AF.
Watched everybody cut crazy for like hours.
Would you
That was
would you all
nuts.
say that episode 3 answers a lot of the questions that you get from episode 1 and 2? Because I feel like I was left with so many questions
Same.
about where
I don't think-
things are gonna go.
No, questions are still going to be there, but like, I mean, it's still early on in the series, so
Gotcha.
I think they're-
You definitely get more.
right,
You get more, just not what you're expecting.
Yeah.
right.
So that's what I'll tell you. That's
Yeah, I
what
think
I'll
they just stack questions. I think they're doing the Lost. They're just stacking questions.
Right.
It's like mystery
But
box thing.
I mean,
Like
it's
lost, you say.
it's okay right now because we're still early. We don't know. Like,
J.J. Abrams is also one of the
He is an executive producer.
He's also one of the executive producers. So.
of course.
Oh God.
I
Mystery box. That damn mystery box.
That's him.
Inside
That's
there's
his
another
Right.
box.
No, but
So,
I think these will be easier questions to answer. I think
Yeah.
it's a little more contained. Lost spanned like how many characters, how many
and they
seasons?
kept on like,
And they just kept introducing more and more.
I know it. They never answered any of the questions. Don't get me started on that.
Ooh, I do want to get you started on it though. I do.
Don't get me started on that. Lost in Game of Thrones.
no.
Worse than Game of Thrones.
Okay, I'm sorry. We got.
Wait, we can't talk about this right now.
We gotta move forward.
That's gonna
So
hurt my
we're gonna talk
feelings.
about how. We're talking about pandemic for a little bit and how we've been playing video games during pandemic. I mean, what do you think about like how games in particular has blown up since COVID has become a thing? I mean, like right now we got like there's certainly games that are like, you know, in the zeitgeist that everybody's playing right now. TLOU 2, Among Us, you know, games like Fall Guys. I don't know. What do you think?
I think people just have a lot more time on their hands. You know, the people who can, who are
Right.
very privileged to,
Absolutely.
and they can sit back and enjoy it more because now they don't have somebody breathing over their neck, checking to see did they finish this spreadsheet or did you do this invoice, blah blah blah. They are appropriating their time the way they'd like to appropriate it, and I've definitely noticed a lot of my community coming back. Seen a lot of familiar faces that have been gone for a while. So even I can attest to the bubble. I'm like, oh, wow, you guys are here.
You're back.
Crazy.
Well, 30 million people are not employed. So they have
That too.
Way to rub it in, Chuck.
and there's
Wow.
hey, I'm there too.
Okay,
Here's one.
great.
Here's a couple.
Yeah.
Rubbing it
you
in.
know. And the kids are at home. So parents are
Yeah,
playing
with
games.
kids at home.
A lot of kids
Trying to
games
stay
to
sane.
play too. So they only have multiple systems in the house.
Right.
Every console sale has gone up because of COVID. Because
Really?
That's true because my mother just purchased another Switch.
Another
Another
Switch.
Switch.
So I come from a family of 5. They are all very young. The second oldest is in high school, and the youngest is still in elementary.
Wow.
So,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yes.
Your
and
mom
he's-
spread him out.
Yeah.
She was like, you're gonna leave, but I'm not gonna be lonely.
You
Okay.
thought you were the only child. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That so they have so many consoles, and so now they have 2 Switches and a Switch Lite. So yeah,
Wow.
I'm a part of that growth. I made sure that happened. So yeah, the kids are home. Kids don't like sharing.
Wow.
It's true. It's
They don't do couch co-op. Nintendo.
I miss couch co-op.
Nobody likes couch co-op.
I miss split screen
Smash
couch co-op,
Brothers.
or like just like LAN parties. I miss all that
Land
stuff.
party.
LAN parties are great, and I like, I miss the nostalgia of split couch co-op, but I like having my own screen.
That
I
too, though.
really do. I really do.
Couch co-op
No screen sniping.
Where people go to
Right.
the room and play on their Switch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Yeah, that Switch is very useful now. I know I had that issue with Borderlands. I should have got it on PC, so I could have just did like a local thing across the network
Right.
instead of. So many regrets. But yeah, it's something about everybody having their time
Mhm.
and then being able to spend it the way they want. Now, I do hate that it has to be something so tragic as so many people
Right.
losing their jobs and so many people just trying to figure out what they're doing for school, or are they going to school now? Like my brother-in-law, I was kind of shocked that they were still doing on campus, like in face-to-face teaching.
Really?
I'm like, I know. And I'm like,
My niece went back to school in Mississippi.
yeah,
Wow.
Senior cheerleading team caught COVID. They had 300 students catch it in the first 2 weeks, and they're still
Jesus.
Mhm.
Fucking Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Fucking
They're wild. It's it's the South. It's something about the South. They just they're like, well, it don't matter. This little virus ain't gonna keep us from stopping. But
Get my education.
they're gonna learn down here.
Oh man.
Very young kids.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm not even gonna start.
I know I know for my siblings.
Over.
Yeah. I know for my siblings, especially the younger ones, not necessarily the college bound ones. I just refuse. I'm like, hey, if they
Right.
have online options, we're taking online options because
Mhm.
they're too young. Like, what do they think? What are they going to know about 6 feet? Come on.
Right.
Like, he has a toy and I want to play with him. What's 6 feet to me?
Yeah.
Adults
So-
don't even know about
Even
6 feet.
adults don't even know
Right.
6 feet. Yeah.
Right. The adults can't get the 6 feet down.
So all the time. We expect kids to get it right.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
yeah, just seeing the videos of kids going to school just already bugged me. But
Yeah.
when they're not at school, they're at home because they're not going anywhere. So games are your next best thing if you're a gamer. And
Right.
I'm happy to see games blowing up like Among Us. Do you know how long
Right.
Among Us was out?
Before it like became part of the zeitgeist.
Yes. Literally, it had been out for like a couple years. And
Right.
because people were sitting at home, not knowing what to do, they're running out of games in their new game catalog. They were like, oh, look at this game. It's old, but it's cool. It's free. It's free. You can download it for free. And they were not ready. I felt so
yeah.
bad for them.
Talk
All
about
the game deliveries. Like,
everybody's having sales. Like it's a COVID
Right.
fire sale.
Yeah, like Epic Games, they're giving out games free
For
every
free,
week. So
yeah.
like
Like
2 or 3
HBO?
games. Yeah, it's
What was
like
that?
really good games too, like Grand Theft Auto 5 and
Right.
yeah. So
Hitman 2016
yeah,
right now.
So it's crazy. But yeah,
Free.
explain Among Us, because I've been watching a lot of the streams. Like I watch all like the offline TV people, right, and their friends, and they play like they're literally streaming Among Us right now, right? And explain Among Us to those that maybe don't understand it. But it's kind of like Mafia, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So Among Us, I only downloaded it on Friday, this last Friday, because I was like, everybody's playing this game. I want to play it. I want to see what it's
Literally
about.
mafia, right?
Literally. And of course, you can set how many imposters there are in a game.
Mhm.
And those imposters are trying to just wipe out the whole team. and you have tasks to complete. And of course, once you find a dead body or you suspect anything, you either report the dead body or you call an emergency meeting and you just vote off whoever you think is the imposter. I have been a huge proponent of killing innocent people. So I apologize. I have done it at least 3 times now. I am a terrible judge of who the imposter is. But I'm the person who's like, well, if you don't vote now, then you're not using your chance to get rid of the problem. So I'm always quick to
cut
vote.
off the arm. Cut off.
Yeah,
the arm.
just cut it off.
Problem.
See, I've not played it, so I don't know if there's a stipulation where if you kill a human, you auto fail. But
no, you kill everybody.
oh, okay.
She's a huge proponent of killing people.
Yeah, it's like
You kill them all. Yeah, no. If you vote somebody off, you don't get it. You only lose if the killer wins, and the killer wins by killing everybody.
Oh, got it. So it's a process. Yeah. It's not a like one and done. Like okay,
it's a process. You can vote off the wrong person and keep playing, if that makes sense. But yeah. It works really well. I thought it would be bad, but it works really well on the phone. Like if you pick it up on mobile, it's nice.
I can get on my phone.
We can play it sometime. Yeah.
But I will warn you, this is not a good free game. Like
it's not a good free game.
The servers are absolute trash.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you meant when you said they were not ready.
Exactly. They are not ready yet. But they are trying to make an Among Us 2, I think. They announced a new project. Of course, they don't have a deadline. They don't have a price. They have nothing. They just announced it. And you know how I feel. Oh, well, okay. You don't know how I feel about that. So I literally go over like game announcements, game reviews, all that all the time. So I love trailers. Trailers are great, but that's not a game. You know, trailers are just they're
to entice you.
I'm like, how convincing can you be in this minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes to 5 minutes? Like, what are you going to do? So when they announced Among Us 2, I was like, okay, it's going to be Among Us, but just with some server fixes, because I can't expect anything else from this. Yeah.
See, that's funny because I always thought, and maybe this is me being old school, like I thought it was going to be like one person like served as a server, like a local server, and then you could log into that, which would be a little more,
would make sense.
Which would make sense.
It would make sense. I'm like, hey, how about I host my own space?
Right.
But no, it seems like they have a set amount of rooms that you can basically reserve. Like if you were going to what are those little rooms that you do? The escape rooms. Like you have a set room that you can rent out for a certain time. And I think after a certain time, it even kicks you out. Because I had a room for a while, like for at least an hour. And then I got disconnected. And then when I tried to log back in, they were like, oh, the rooms are full. Try again in a few minutes. So just be aware of how hard it can be to get in a room. Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it takes literally an hour. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. Like we had somebody trying while we were playing another game. That's how bad it got. But I think it's gotten better. I know the last time I played with my friends, it was a pretty quick one and done. Like we got to finish. But it's fun.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Jen.
I was going to say, just to pivot a little bit, because I know, Chelsea, you said you enjoy zombie things. Have you played Last of Us 2 yet?
I was thinking about surely.
Avoiding spoilers.
Yeah, of course. So that's the one thing that I can complain about Chasing the Crown. Right when I started The Last of Us 2, we started Chasing the Crown. And
so you weren't able to...
I haven't even finished it, but I did play. I got through, the first hour and a half, 2 hours or so, and it was an experience. Now, I hate, the one thing I kind of hate about, I guess, building or streaming on, I'll say on Twitch or any platform that involves games, is that the interest dies quick. It really does. And I love, you always want to tell people, hey, do what you want. Do what you want to do. But if you have people in your chat, like voicing distinctly, oh, we don't want to watch this, we don't want to do this.
Really?
This is it's been weeks. Like it's actually been weeks. But then even when I started it, it's like a lot of people were disappointed in the game, at least from my community.
Yeah.
But I think they had like this biased view that they gathered from Twitter and getting spoiled over the months of. I somehow was very lucky to not have any spoilers. I got very lucky. But I did play. I've been enjoying it so far. I'm excited to delve further because while people do give, I mean, everybody gives flack to a game. It's
impossible to escape that.
Yeah, I'm like, it kind of bugs me, honestly, because I'm like, it's so easy to say you don't like something. It's so easy to not commit to something. I'm like, you didn't even give it a chance. The game just came out today. You saw what they did. They tried to bomb it. That was terrible.
The review bombs in the beginning.
It was really sad.
Yeah, I was
no, it's unfair because like, you know, I did finish the game and like while I can see why, you know, there were qualms about it from the beginning, I'm so glad that it wasn't spoiled for me when it was, because I was able to experience it fully. But like, I think they were really smart in having you actually call that into question while you're thinking about the narrative. You know what I mean? So I think actually everything that happened, like, happened for a reason so that you can think about it at the end. You know, like, I think the whole point was that they were setting you up for you to think that way. I know I'm speaking like super vaguely, but you know what I mean?
No. I know exactly what you're talking about, because that's what happened with Death Stranding. Now, nobody bomb reviewed Death Stranding, but I got that same vibe when I played that game. A lot of attention in the beginning, but also that attention was met with, man, this game sucks. This game's so slow. Where's the action? What's going on here? And those are different games. It's just a different type of game. Like people aren't patient when it comes to video games. Yeah. You get
absolutely.
You get full walkthroughs the day before the game is released.
You get the Let's Plays, like boom, like, you know, because they're making those like during press week, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
All my friends from Last of Us, they said it didn't introduce enough new things. I'm at the very beginning of the game.
That's a weird qualm for me, you know?
They just polished what was there.
Well, I mean, like, is that a bad thing? I mean, if you perfect the engine and the gameplay, like, why is that bad?
I don't know. Them dogs are kind of freaking me out a little bit. That was pretty new to me. I was like, oh my God.
Trust me, there are new things. There are new things in every sense of the word. Like, it takes some time to build up because, like, the first hour or 2 or 3 is really just dedicated to homage, you know, of just like, here we are. And now what are you going to do with it? You know, and it's a whole new world. I mean, they're in Seattle now, you know, so it's a new world. I'm not going to say anymore.
Just to kind of put
Please
my pen.
Continue it.
No, exactly what you're saying. I went through that flack streaming it, as well as you know, just being on, you know, online, seeing everybody's kind of response to it, and it never discouraged me because we know how people are in a group. It's something about groupthink. People all come up to this one opinion and they're like, yeah, it's trash, and that's further than the truth. I always express and encourage people, explore it on your own. Decide for yourself.
All my friends are like Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us.
Okay, so you want me to
be that conversation? Really?
You want to do this right now?
I wish we could, but we do have to move on.
I wish we could.
This could last for another hour.
My interest is piqued, but we must continue.
We must. So we are going to end today's episode with somewhat of something, you know, along more serious lines. So Chadwick Boseman, we all got news passed from colorectal cancer, a 4-year-long battle, and that news dropped on Friday, and it's been tough, but I don't know. I'm honestly at loss for words, but
I'll fill in those words for you because that's a skill for me, apparently. For me, we were streaming Alien Isolation that day, just doing our giveaway stream, and my husband hit me with it just out of nowhere because it shocked him too. It's just a shock. Like you weren't prepared for that. And I won't say that, I'm the type of person to be like, oh yeah, I'm keeping up with all the stars all the time. I know what's going on with everybody and what they do affects me. Bless you.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, it's perfectly fine. But it was something that I just wasn't expecting at all.
Right.
You weren't. You just weren't. I don't know how anybody would be like, oh yeah, that's definitely what I'd put on my list for 2020.
Right.
But some people that it's if I could forget this year, I would. But some of my fellow streamers that I enjoy also cried during their streams, or they were just overcome with emotion, or it.
Damn, yeah.
And they, because people like to come into your stream and they'll be like, "Did you hear?
Yeah.
Did you hear this?"
That's what happened because I was also streaming when I heard, and that's exactly what happened to me. Somebody in stream dropped it. I mean, in chat dropped it, and I think it interrupted whatever we were doing for like a hot, few minutes because I had to gather myself again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All I heard was I got a text message. One of my friends said, "Yo, TMZ's about to make this announcement." And he told us, we're like, what? No. Then literally like 2 minutes later, TMZ dropped the announcement.
Oh my God.
TMZ is wild, but
they're on top of everything.
Yeah. Oh, my tongue on TMZ.
They were the first to report that Kobe Bryant died this year, I believe.
They were the first before Michael Jackson died.
Yeah, they were that too.
How do they?
So many boots on the ground.
Little birds.
They do.
What it is like
Spies everywhere.
They have like a less stringent verification. Like if they have fewer sources, then they'll go with it. Whereas like everybody else will verify a little more.
Yeah. So they don't care. Like
they just run it.
They're just ready to explode whatever story comes their way. Okay.
Also, I think they give $100,000 per death.
Oh, really?
Per news item.
Yeah,
that is dirty as fuck.
They get the information faster, so for them you have to verify they're dead because they don't want to run it because
you can't do it if
they want to be known as these stores that can verify to everybody.
So they pay to do that.
Of course, it's news.
Yeah.
I mean, you do get paid for tips. But that's still, it's still like, wow, that's scummy.
Crazy.
But,
it is scary.
That is dirty as fuck.
Before even the loved ones find out.
No.
Like, he knows and is broadcasting that information. Like his wife didn't even know yet.
But one thing that came out of Chadwick's death that got me inspired was he kicked out 10 movies fighting colon cancer.
I know.
There's a conversation going online about this, and I kind of shared some of it online. This idea that he was working so hard,
right?
And maybe experienced further burnout because of it.
Right.
He was doing it alone, so he maybe didn't have as big a social network as he could have had he told some people. But then on the flip side, you think to yourself, okay, if you were in his shoes and you didn't know how many more years you were going to live, wouldn't you be working your ass off too?
I would be working my ass off.
You'd be like, okay, I don't know how much longer I have. I'm just gonna pump out movie after movie.
Why are you always writing like you're running out of time? Right?
Yeah, I pulled Alexander Hamilton, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
That was that's definitely something that you I think that's something that you just discuss if you have any loved ones, if you have a partner. That's something that unfortunately you have to think about. And it was crazy because we had just played Firewatch, and in that story, if you know of that story, just to kind of give you some context, it's not really a spoiler. It's kind of just the setup for the game, for the tone. Your wife has early onset dementia, and it's basically just watching your loved one run downhill to their death.
Right.
And while I won't say that, I was, I'm not somebody who's like, oh man, I followed Chadwick for majority of his career. I, blah, 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 this and that. I love him. I'm such a fan. I was definitely a fan, but, it wasn't like I won't say I wasn't the most devoted, but you can't help but be affected by that. Like, imagine knowing for years that you are heading towards the end.
Stage 4.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you choose to not wallow. You don't choose to stop. You choose to keep going. That I'm not the most, I try not to be the most emotional, like, oh God, man, this just put me to tears, but I definitely respect it. It's definitely something where when I saw other people bawling in tears, people writing out posts, I'm like, I get it. And I think it bugged me seeing people like, you didn't even know him, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to know somebody to be affected by them.
No, you really don't.
Absolutely.
Surgery. You're coming from a surgery. Then going to chemo and you shoot Black Panther or you shoot Civil War. He was running in Civil War. He was really running.
I know. And he had to stay that yoked.
Stunts.
Yes, all that stuff the entire time too.
Yeah.
All the martial arts training he had to do. It's like you are dying and you're out here doing it.
His impact and legacy are amazing. Yeah, it's
absolutely.
Just even on like an interpersonal level, I was seeing Andy Lowe, you guys, he posted something, or he reposted something rather on his socials last night. And I recognized the story and it was getting all these shares online, thousands and thousands of shares. Basically, my friend Anthony, who is Black and he's an actor, he was at the Samuel French bookstore a few years ago and he saw
Chadwick that story Boseman. Is the best.
That's my friend Anthony. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He saw Chadwick Boseman and then he was like, oh my God, it's Chadwick Boseman. So he was like, should I talk to him? I don't know. So finally he gathered up the courage to go up to Chadwick Boseman and he said, hey, I'm a really big fan of your work. Actually, I don't even think he opened it with that. He just opened it with, what does it take to make it in Hollywood? And then Chadwick Boseman was like, I'm going to get back to you on that. And then he just walked away.
But he gave him a reading list, right?
Well, he was like, oh, okay. And then he said 20 minutes later, he hears a voice right behind his shoulder and it's Chadwick Boseman. He's like, so you go make it in Hollywood, right? And they ended up talking for a while. And then he was like, you're going to do good, man. I believe in you. I think you're going to be fine. And then he left, bought his stuff. And then when he went to the cash register, the guy at the cash register was like, oh, he bought this book for you. And it was an acting book. And so the cash register guy wrote about this story online and it blew up online. And so I got on Instagram and I saw the story being shared, texted my friend Anthony. I was like, is this you? And
is this you? That's a Twitter thing. Is this you?
I was like, I need answers. Is this you? And he was like, that's me. I'm super humbled right now. I was like, you should comment and say that was you. He's like, I have to gather my thoughts about it. I might do that.
I'd be quick. Yes.
Yeah. I'd be like,
was me.
No, but you can see how someone might be like, they'd be like, how do we know it's you? So I was like, I can vouch for you. I can be like, this is my friend because he told me.
Receipt. What do you mean?
Receipt. I know. Show the book.
Book.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah.
But
can I just say really quick? I know we're
way over time.
We're way over time.
I'm sorry.
But,
no, it's okay.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
That I still will remember, and Thurgood Marshall and 42 aside,
yes,
when I sat there in Black Panther and I watched
Yeah.
Which one?
I feel it. It was a huge impact that he had in that theater for sure.
Yeah.
Being able to see all of those people, because I saw it when I was in Houston and it was crowds and crowds and crowds of people. That's a huge impact. That's a very huge impact. Seriously, take a moment of silence just for these people that are passing this year, guys. There's so much going on. This is not a normal year. If you feel a certain way, that's valid and that's okay.
Right.
That is definitely okay. But yeah.
Yeah. The just the moment when they pass into Wakanda and you see this civilization of color being represented in such a positive way, a positive, scientifically ahead way. And we've never seen that before. And just to know that, he contributed to that and helped tell that story. It's
beautiful. It's absolutely.
I lost my shit in the theater. I really did.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that movie 3 times. that opening just like week. That is the epitome of what I think. Yeah. Film, media, just things to connect people. That is it. That is it.
What I loved about that movie was that people in Wakanda didn't revere him. He was a human. He just had this powerful suit. Like when he landed and his sister turned around and said, "Did he freeze?" Like, yeah, he froze. Like,
he froze. I never freeze.
Remember, don't freeze.
Don't freeze. I never freeze. They told you, don't you freeze when you get down here. Just save it.
Right.
You know, and it was like, and she was making fun of him. It was like,
I know.
A relationship that really does work.
Yeah. He left a huge impact. I think the best thing that we can do is just understand, respect, and just learn from that. Now, I know y'all seeing some really weird responses on Instagram and Twitter, and, you know, people posting their kids over these, the weird, like, toy ceremony funerals. I'm like, okay, that's not it for me. But hey, to each their own. I also don't think this is the time where people should be. I know one of the actresses, the actress that played Shuri, she talked about how hurt she was. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just one of those things where I'm like, man, I don't think people deserve your words on social media. I'm like, it's just, it's like one of those moments where I'd be like, hey, if you have nothing to say about it to us, I completely understand.
You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, you don't have to say
You don't have to make a statement. Yeah.
You don't. Because the responses I saw were people like, well, I guess the legacy falls to you now. And I'm like, why would you say that
why
to
would
somebody?
You even bring that up right now?
Right.
I don't know.
So yeah, you get some weird responses, but what I'm happy about is that overall the net reaction is this right here in this stream. Mm-hmm. He left a huge impact. It was positive. You have so many great memories, and we can learn from that. That's a mirror right there. I hope that would be a mirror for me. Like, I'd like to see that in my reflection.
Mm-hmm.
What bothered me most was his upcoming role that he was going to play, Yasuke.
Yasuke, yeah, that would have been dope.
I remember they made the announcement, and I had the pleasure of meeting him. And he's a
you met him.
Nice person. Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah, he's a really, really nice person. And
so you just like struck me in the heart because I had no idea who was going to do that.
Yeah,
the first legendary Black warrior in feudal Japan.
Samurai.
Oh man,
he would have looked so good.
That would have been so
dope.
amazing.
I was like,
that would have been amazing.
Every historical Black person in history. James
I know.
Jackie Robinson.
That's the thing about his career, man. Whoever his agent was, he was like, I'm only doing.
Like, I got you.
Leading man heroes. Let's
legends.
go.
Yeah.
I'm doing iconic Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the next interview y'all got to do. Y'all got to get the agent on.
Yeah.
How'd you do this? How'd you do this? Yeah.
I'm sorry we got to cut this, but like, thank you everybody for being here today. Chelsea, thank you for joining us. It's been an awesome talk. Chuck Babb,
my pleasure. Seriously.
thank you for joining us on this side of the table. Now that you're not a guest,
no longer a guest.
But, it's been great.
I'm up in the world.
Hey.
I just want to. Oh yeah. So since it's our 50th episode. We have a little toast here. Everybody's got a little bit of whatever.
A little bit of something.
So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for our followers, our fans. Thank you for all our guests, all our guest hosts, to everybody that's ever worked on Pangeekery. This is number 50, and here's to at least another 50 more.
Woo! Cheers!
Cheers!
Before we do sign off, I want to let everybody know that next week we do have Karen Huey from Ghost of Tsushima as our special guest, so do tune in for that. We may have a special guest host. We are still working on that, but we'll announce it in this coming week. And we have a lot of other stuff going up. So thank you everybody for the chat. Thank you everybody again. Thank you Chelsea. Thank you Chuck.
Thank you so much, guys.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Follow us on the socials. We are everywhere at Pangeekery. What's up? We're going to raid Sarah Zale. Okay, we're raiding Sarah Zale. Let's say what's up to Sarah Zale. But hit us up everywhere at Pangeekery. That's PANGEEKERY. Hit us up on Discord. Everybody stay safe. Love each other. Take care. Peace.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. And remember to vote.
Also remember to vote.
Chat.
Yes.
Remember.
All right.